I'm Strange Wang, he is Nate, and this video you're watching is from the top 5s from our show, Not Topical. So check it out. He'll tell you about social media and where you can find it.
It's in the description box right down below. Pop it open, click on those links, give us a follow. We also have links to our Coffee account and our Patreon account and the thanks button right there on YouTube if you would like to help support us financially, which we'd really appreciate. But if you're not going to do any of those things, subscribe because it's free and you still get to help us out.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5, top 5, top 5.
Top 5 Robert De Niro movies because Amsterdam's coming out. So he'll tell you about the top 5, and then we'll jump into Bobby D.
So how we do our top 5s is he'll start with his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4, 3-2, 3-2. Then we trade off number 1s. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means if we both have the same movie on our list, but one person has it 2 spots or higher, we'll just talk about it once.
Jeez, my shoes are like tearing me up.
And patent leathers.
I like the look over the pants though. It looks very nice.
Time to stand.
But anyways, I think we're gonna go 5 for 5 in common, or Jordan ones.
I don't think so. I think I'm
or
gonna,
4 for 5.
Yeah, I think I have one that I don't think you're gonna use, but
My number 5 is the Intern.
yeah.
Movie's fucking hilarious. I love what Bob does in this movie. He's hilarious. He's gentle. He's kind.
Yeah.
He's acting outside of what he would usually be, and he still gets those Robert De Niro isms in there, just to be like the one of the cockles of your heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Number 6 for me, absolutely. Like
Number
honorable
6.
Really?
I thought that was gonna be one we had in common.
Yeah.
Now it's like this might be a 3 to 4. Number 4, A Bronx Tale. Favorite movie of all time. I wasn't gonna put it below.
There's just not a lot of Bobby D in that movie.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my favorite movie of all time. So I put him in there. He's being a dad. He's being a different acting outside. Like you see a crime movie or a movie that has crime in it,
He's usually
and
a
he's not
monster.
involved. It's like, all right, he's doing something different. It's my favorite movie of all time, so I had to put it in there. But I couldn't put the Intern over it though.
That's fair. Yeah.
Disrespectful.
Sure. So my number 5 is the Irishman. Mostly just because he is like the central. He is the Irishman, right? You get a lot of. It's a long movie. You get a lot of Bobby D in this movie.
Hey, yo!
And you get him. The de-aging stuff didn't bother me nearly as much as it bothered a lot of other
hated
people.
that.
I barely noticed it, honestly. There's only like 1 or 2 scenes where it like really stands out to me. But yeah, he's really good in it, and he shows like a fair amount of range in it. Like I love that you get to see this dude's entire, like not his whole life, but basically from the time he starts crime, like, you know, just screwing over the company he works for, to painting houses, to like stepping way up to being the guy that makes Jimmy Hoffa disappear, basically. But there's a lot of layers to the character because, you know, he's dealing with his daughter because she knows that her dad's a shitty guy, and she had a really special relationship with Hoffa and that whole bit. And then like him and Hoffa were friends, and then the mob, you know, tells him he has to be the one to do it. All that, him and Pesci, and then even down to the very end, like when he's in prison, and then ultimately ends up in that nursing home, and like the stuff with the preacher. I really like what De Niro does in this movie. It's definitely not his best mob movie by any stretch, but I really like him in it. And then number 4 for me is only number 4 because you don't get a ton of Bobby D in it. So I understand that if we were just talking about how good the movie is itself, this would be much higher. But because we're basing it on Bobby D, I put Godfather Part 2 at number 4. Wait, is that not on your list?
No.
Huh.
Bro, it's favorites.
Alrighty then.
Okay. Well,
Favorites.
yeah. I mean, he's young Vito. I really like the old Italy stuff. Kind of the same, like similar stuff to the Irishman, just getting to see him like fall into this stuff, eventually come to the Americas, become like literally the Don, the Godfather. It's really good.
We're gonna have barely. I thought we was gonna boom, 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 boom. We're right there neck and neck with each other.
I feel like the next 3 we have to have.
I'm gonna assume this is the Zemeckis Heat.
It is.
All right. Taxi Driver's my number 2.
is my number 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you went Raging Bull over Taxi Driver.
No, I went Taxi Driver.
That is surprising.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be the one.
He does.
That or The Irishman was going to be the one difference.
He does really good work in Taxi Driver. I don't love that movie as much as other people do.
He gained weight for
Yeah.
Raging Bull, though.
He did. I don't think Taxi Driver to me has kind of like the Scarface effect. People sort of tend to praise the bad parts of this person when the intent was to show how bad like veterans and shit are treated. So the movie gets taken out of context by like modern culture, and that drives me crazy. But I'm not gonna blame De Niro for other people not wanting to look into the deeper meaning of something.
But like when you see De Niro in this movie, that's not De Niro.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's one of the rare, like, you can watch like a film that's going to be on our list later. You can watch a film and be like, Heat, perfect example. Mm-hmm. I'm watching Robert De Niro.
Right.
30 minutes in, you're watching that character. Robert De Niro's out your mind. This movie, from the start, Robert De Niro isn't in your presence. It's Travis Bickle, start to finish.
I 100% agree.
Because that performance and the character arc in it is so dark and cruel and has like, it makes you feel guilty, and it's a very powerful performance, and I would say it's the most powerful performance he's ever done. I think this is personally, not like if I had to make a list non-biased, I would say Taxi Driver is his best performance of all time.
It's debatable!
Just because it's not what you think of. He doesn't have the Robert De Niro isms in there.
Yeah.
Classic, memorable scenes and lines. Emotionally draining, impactfulness. It's all in that character and the performance.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the other movie that I immediately think of, well, okay, the two other movies I think of when I think of De Niro, like not being De Niro, is The Intern, which he still has plenty of De Niro isms in it, like you said. Maybe like, I can't remember if he's in Bad Grandpa or Dirty Grandpa, but
He's in Dirty Grandpa.
screw it.
That's what you think of?
No. I thought about that when I was talking. But the other one I think of when I think of De Niro not being De Niro is Cape Fear, and I
forgot about that.
I
try to get that movie out of my mind.
I'm not saying De Niro is bad in it, but the original is just like so head and shoulders above the remake.
It's like, why would you
to
ever
both
want
of us
to remake it?
Yeah. So
see me, I went you on The Intern because I love The Intern so much. Mm-hmm. It's 3 for me, just because they made so many movies.
Yeah.
The Fockers.
Yeah, but he's still De Niro, and like he's still like aggressive, hard nosed, even though he's like a former CIA guy or whatever he was in it. Like he's still very
comedy.
Yeah,
sets it apart. But the big one for me, and then this might be like an age thing. Like if you ask my homeboy Chef Dave, he would say this. Fuck, what's it called?
It's a De Niro movie?
The King of Comedy.
Oh, okay.
De Niro, Scorsese did this one as well.
The Joker prequel?
What a jerk off. Fuck that movie. Those are the two I think of when I think of De Niro out of performances minus Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
But Taxi Driver, number 2, number 3. Number
3 was Zemeckis. We're on my number 3.
Yeah, what's your number 3?
Which is going to be Zemeckis because it's Goodfellas.
Yes, that's going to be Zemeckis.
And then my number 2 was Taxi Driver.
Okay.
So now we're on our number 1.
Number 1 is Goodfellas. This is my favorite De Niro performance because of the amount of times I've seen this movie. And we'll get to that in a minute. De Niro, you get the perfect balance of De Niro-isms with a good, believable performance. Just like the scene where he's like talking about the shine box. He's like, "Get your fucking shine box, you motherfucking mutt." They get Tommy out the bar.
You
and he's
assaulted
like,
him a little bit.
He's like,
you
assaulted
him a little bit.
This fucking gold.
That's gold, Jerry. Gold!
Fantastic performance. And as De Niro just adds to like the Italian crime scene so much. And when he does the fucking in your face with the finger thing, you won't fucking buy nothing. Like, great stuff too. Like, classic De Niro stuff. This movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. Seen it 15 times at least. I think the 15 is like a fair. I've seen this movie 15 times. I think that's fair to say.
I believe
I'm not
that.
overshooting.
That's a lot of times to see any movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why it's my favorite movie. I think if I watch another movie more, it will become my favorite movie of De Niro's because he's in it more. Shout out to Ronan. That's a really good movie. That would have been my number 6.
Yeah. So the reason Goodfellas was my number 3, it's not just because he's sharing like spotlight with Pesci and Liotta, but so that the scene we talked about, that is like the most Robert De Niro. Like if you had a film class on Robert De Niro and you were like pick one scene that just like shows Robert De Niro as an actor, I think that's a solid pick. Like if I really dissected every single film he's been in, maybe there's more, but like that one is like,
well, you get into the Dirty Grandpa.
The mannerisms and stuff is just like very De Niro. Outside of that, so like Robert De Niro is essential to Goodfellas because he is Robert De Niro. Like having him in that movie just almost automatically like legitimizes it as a gangster film. But outside of that, there really isn't like, he's not doing a ton.
Nah.
Like
he's the third wheel.
Yeah. And that's why it was number 3 for me. Excellent movie though. Number 1, I understand you could maybe make some of the same arguments there. But my number 1 was Heat, which was the Zemeckis from before. But he's co-lead basically with Pacino, right? But
I say he's the lead. I care about his character more.
Yeah.
He has the most interesting character in that movie.
I agree with that. Screen time wise,
15 minutes. Maybe.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
But yeah, like you get him in the crew, like he's the glue that's holding them together. Things fall apart when they don't follow his rules, right? So he's the ringleader. I love how smart he is in this movie. He's not like there are plenty of smart gangsters. I'm not saying they're all just dumb. Like not all of them are just a wise guy, even though he is in fact a wise guy in Goodfellas. But he's just a very intelligent person, and I really like that look on De Niro because he can pull it off. He can play the I'm gonna knock your head in and collect money guy. He can play the heist crime lord shit too. Big fan. But I also really like the stuff with him and the girl in the movie because it really like sells his character's commitment to what he does. Like this is what is really important to him, not getting caught, right? To the point to where he's like, I'm going to die before I go to jail. And the way him and Pacino play off each other, the diner scene where they like meet up in person and are basically like, you fuck off. No, I'm not going to fuck off. You quit what you're doing. Well, I'm not going to quit what I'm doing. Okay, well, I guess that one of us is going to die then. And they are both fine with that because they are men of conviction. And I love that movie a lot. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once. So I feel like I couldn't put it as my number 1 because I've only seen it once. But again, perfect balance of good performance and Robert De Niro's just being Robert De Niro, what he's vintage Robert De Niro stuff thrown in there to make the character his own. Again, it's just so good in this movie. The character is so interesting. The rules, and everything just makes that the most. Kind of like The Godfather.
Don't ever get so attached to anything you can't just walk away from. That is like classic. Like, obviously not everyone is a crime lord, but that specific rule is still just so penetrative to society today, especially when people are like, I want to be in a relationship, but like, I'm too worried about like my own feelings getting hurt or my own self-interest or anything like that. I will not get too attached to anything that I can't just walk away from. So then people get feelings for people or whatever, and then they're like, nah. I'm too attached, so I gotta walk away.
That's why I don't watch TV shows. So when they get bad, I feel like I can't walk away. But Heat, what a good fucking movie.
Excellent.
Tell us your top 5 down in the comment section below. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.